Do you enjoy tile drafting and pulling little wooden tokens out of bags? If so, stick around because tonight I'm rolling with the beard. Mike joins me and we go on a wildlife excursion and we're reviewing Cascadia. Here we have a two-player game in Cascadia set up and ready to go. Setup is super simple. Just lay out the 5 scoring condition cards where all players can see it, and then give each player one of the 5 starting tiles. Gameplay is super simple. During their turn, a player will choose one of these groupings of habitat tiles and nature tokens. And then once the player has made their selection, they can then add that tile to their ecosystem, and then they may place the habitat tile on one of their tiles that has the matching symbol. For instance, a bird on a bird, or an elk on an elk, or a fox on a fox. And players will be doing this to satisfy the requirements on the 5 scoring cards. What are these scoring cards? We'll go over them shortly. Grizzly bear. Scores for a number of pairs of bears with no other bears next to them. The elk. Players will score points for straight lines of elk. Red fox. Players will score points for unique animals touching the fox. The hawk. Players will score points for just having a bunch of hawks out on their board. The salmon. Players will score points for just having a big old long line of salmon. And if you feel sassy, the game comes with a whole bunch of different scoring cards that you can use to mix things up a bit. And at the end of a player's turn, you'll replenish the pieces that they took from the bags. You can also get these little nature tokens to choose different combinations of the available options to you to kind of help mitigate the luck. And you get nature tokens by placing wildlife tokens on special habitat tokens that show a picture of the nature token. So Michael, what did you think of Cascadia?
Overall, I really enjoy this game. It's very light, it's quick. I think the box is 30 to 45 minutes. I would say 30 minutes. You could probably burn through the game in 20 minutes, but overall, I thought it was very enjoyable, lightweight, simple strategy, good components. I really enjoyed this game.
Mm-hmm. I feel like the strategy isn't so simple as the rule set. The rules are pretty easy to explain and teach, but I feel like there's a deep strategy. I myself actually kind of experience a little bit of AP. I feel like the 5 different scoring conditions in the base game is like my limit for my tiny brain. If there was like a 6th or something, I started to get a little bit of smoke out of one ear.
I didn't notice that so much. I don't know. You only have 4 options to choose from. Basically, I mean, if you have your nature nuts or whatever they're called, you can mix it up. You can mix it up a little bit. I don't know. They're something nature, and they're like pine cones. They allow you to change what you draw a little bit, but I don't know. It's so quick. I didn't really think about it too much.
Which is a great opportunity to upgrade your components by going out and finding pine cones and use real pine cones. It would smell great too. It would be a great seasonal game. There's definitely some luck involved in this game with the draw of the bag and drawing both components that you're drafting come out of a bag. So I feel like it's not an overly lucky game, but you are certainly restricted, which is great though because all the players have the same restrictions. And during our first 2 games of it, I did not believe that there was equal distribution between the animal chips because it was just fox after fox after fish after fox after fox after fish.
It's like, true. Nothing but orange and pink was coming out of the bag. There was. We did count. And there are exactly 20 of each, but it definitely does not feel like that. And there is a little bit of luck. I did like the choices, so to decide, is it time to grab that hawk now that it's finally out and take the bad tile that goes along with it? Do I spend my pine cone nature nut to take the hawk with a different tile? If I had one of those available to me, I did find it a couple of times where I didn't have any nuts available to allow me to mix things up.
Sometimes you gotta give a nut to just take life by the hawk.
I often find myself without enough nuts. No, I thought it was good. I enjoyed the choices. There is some luck, but in a game this short, that doesn't really bother me that much. I know a lot of people were talking about how pretty the game was, and I was really looking forward to it. The art on the box is amazing. But overall, I thought the art was only kind of average, actually. I don't. Yeah, I know. I'm probably the only one that thinks that, but it did feel very average to me. The terrain pieces were, I don't know. That seems pretty standard terrain art to me, and the art on the tiles. Although the tiles were nice, I like the heft and the size of them. The animals on the tiles were kind of, I don't know. It just faded. They were kind of background noise. It could have been blue, orange, brown, pink tiles without animals on them, and it would have been the same.
Yeah, I feel like the theme is non-existent. It is an abstract game where you are drafting tiles and you're just putting them together. At the end, like you mentioned, there is the scoring of the large clusters of land. But yeah, overall, the art is nice, but there's not a whole lot of it, I feel.
Yeah, they kind of duplicated some of the art on the scoring tiles. I feel like this is definitely just an abstract strategy game with some theme pasted on it, but they tried really hard. They did a good job of trying to paste a theme on. There was a lot of the rule book was filled with background information on the Pacific Northwest and about the animals, and I did enjoy that, but the actual gameplay, the theme really wasn't there for me. I know the scoring mechanisms incorporated the theme of mating pairs and groups and things like that, but it's an abstract strategy game.
100%. And it does come with a nice bag, but to be honest, they really should have included another bag, because without having a bag for these tiles, I just personally hate shuffling tiles. Like, I don't know if I've ever played Carcassonne with shuffling tiles. I would just throw them in a bag. We've even used a Kroger bag before, or, a plastic grocery store bag for those of you who don't live in Ohio with Krogers all over the place.
And there are a lot of tiles, 85 tiles in a 4-player game, and 43 in a 2-player game. It's a lot of tiles to try to shuffle and sort and separate. I do wish that there were more of the starting tiles. There are 4 of these, which is, for a 4-player game, that's all you need, I suppose. But I feel like there could have been more variety in these, maybe, but that's pretty nitpicky. Overall, it's a really enjoyable game. I highly recommend it.
I could see there being a lot of downtime in a 4-player game. We haven't tried it with 4 players because the board state where you're drafting is going to change drastically. So I could see there being a lot of downtime with 4 players. As a 2-player game, I feel it really shines.
Yeah, like you said, we've never played it at more than 2, but I feel like 2 players is probably the best. In a 4-player game, you're almost, when you're waiting for your turn, you could be on your phone. Like, your choices will be completely different. There's no planning, no strategy. You could kind of plan ahead for it's what you get on your turns, what you get, and there's no real thought-provoking looking ahead. One more about the bag, though. This is a very nice bag. I like how big it is. Reaching to get the tiles, it's very easy to mix up all of the 100 animal tiles that come in the bag. It does have some drawstrings on it that I don't feel like really do much of anything. Keep the tiles in the bag if you put it in your box, but the bag is nice and wide, so that it is nice to be able to get in there easily and draw. If you have big paws, like bears.
Bear paws.
Get it? Bear paws.
I got you.
Uh-huh.
So, Mike, would you say this game lives up to the hype?
I think it does. I really enjoyed it. I would play this game anytime. I highly recommend it if you're looking for a good, quick, abstract strategy game that shines with 2 but plays up to 4. I definitely think it lives up to its hype. What are your final thoughts? Do you feel that Cascadia lives up to all the hype? It was a long time coming out. I felt like it was talked about for a long time before it was actually able to be purchased.
Yes. I don't feel like it lives up to the hype. It is a good game. I am going to use it as a gateway game for situations where there's no more than 4 players, because it only plays 4, which it seems like you could play maybe 5, but to be honest, I don't think I even want to try it with 4, let alone 5.
Doesn't live up to the hype, huh? Is that a little flat for you?
I think I had just really high expectations. I still would rate it a solid 7.5, maybe 8. It doesn't rate as high as Biblios for me. I love Biblios. I think Biblios is a better gateway game than Cascadia. It's a long story.
I don't know.
Do you think Cascadia is a better game than Biblios?
Yes, I do. Biblios it's a good game. I don't enjoy it as much as you. It is a good game. I like Biblios. I'm happy to play it. I think I would prefer to play this, but it depends. Like Biblios takes up a lot less table space. So if you're talking about playing, at a restaurant or a bar, then Biblios. Steve Ingame, which he also designed Herbaceous, which Herbaceous has art from Beth Sobel, which has art in Cascadia.
Coincidence?
Oh,
I don't think so.
Let's
go play some Herbaceous.
Let's play Biblios. How about Wasteland Express delivery service?
I don't think so. Thanks for watching another episode of Rolling with the Beard. If you found this episode entertaining or informative at all, please consider clicking that subscribe button and join us again. Thanks for watching.
Hey, Oh. Take a beat.
Thanks for stopping by, Mike.
Hey, thanks for having me. It's been way too long. Take the hawk to get the hawk blah blah.
Hawk.